Good afternoon, Mishpachah and Havarim. This is the Book of HANOK, Chapter 17. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wanted, they appeared as men. And they brought me to a place of darkness and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to the Shamayim. And I saw the places of the lights and the treasures of the stars and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths where there were a fiery bow of arrows and their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightnings. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every going down of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great river, and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place where all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation, and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth, and the firmament of the Shamayim. And I saw how the winds stretch out. I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of the Shamayim, and have their station between the Shamayim and earth. These are the pillars of the Shamayim. I saw the winds of the Shamayim, which turn and bring the circumference of the sun, and all the stars of their going down. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the messengers. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the Shamayim above, and I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east, one was of coloured stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those towards the earth of red stone. But the middle one reached to the Shamayim like the throne of Elohim, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the Shamayim were completed. And I saw a deep abyss with columns of fire of the Shamayim, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the Shamayim above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, and it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the messenger said, "This place is the end of the Shamayim and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of the Shamayim. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of Yushua in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wrath with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be completely ended for 10,000 years." Chapter 19. And Yaray said to me, "Here shall stand the messengers who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as mighty ones. till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be rightly ruled, till they are made an end of. I need to read that again. Chapter 19, verse 1. Listen to this. And Uriel said to me, here shall stand the messengers who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as mighty ones, till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be rightly ruled, till they are made an end of. And the women also of the messengers who went astray shall become demons. And I, Hanok, alone saw the vision, the end of all matters, and no man shall see as I have seen. Chapter 20. And these are the names of the Qodesh messengers who watch. Yaray, one of the Qodesh messengers, who is over the world and over Gehinnom, hell. Raphael, one of the Qodesh messengers, who is over the spirits of men. Ru'ach, one of the Qodesh messengers, who takes vengeance on the world of the lights. Michael, one of the Qodesh messengers, in order that he is appointed over the best part of mankind and over disorder. Goodness me. Sarachael, one of the Qodesh messengers, who is appointed over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the Qodesh messengers, who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim, the serpentine, the shining ones, serpents. Ramiel, one of the Qodesh messengers, whom Elohim appointed over those who rise. Chapter 21. And I proceeded to where matters were disordered, and I saw there some horrible matter. I saw neither a Shamayim above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place disorderly and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of the Shamayim bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Then I said, for what sin are they bound, and on what account have they been cast in here? Then spoke Uriel, one of the Qodesh messengers, who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Hanok, why do you ask, and why are you eager for the truth? There are of the number of the stars of the Shamayim. These are of the number of the stars of the Shamayim, which have transgressed the command of Yushua, and are bound here till 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are ending. And from there I went to visit another place, which was still more horrible than the former, and I saw a horrible matter, a great fire there, which burnt and blazed, and the place was divided as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I guess. Then I said, how fearful is the place, and how terrible to look upon. Then Uriel answered me, one of the Qodesh messengers who was with me, and said to me, Hanok, why have you such fear and terror? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said to me, this place is the prison of the messengers, and here they will be imprisoned forever. Wow. Chapter 22. A chapter of darkness, this one. And then I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain of hard rock, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael answered one of the Qodesh messengers who was with me, and said to me, These hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the beings of the dead should assemble there, even that all the beings of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, and till their appointed time, till the great judgment upon them. I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and their voice went forth to the Shamayim and petitioned. And I asked Raphael the messenger who was with me, and I said to him, This spirit, whose is it, whose voice goes forth and petitions? And he answered me, saying, This is the spirit which went forth from Hevel, whom his brother Cain slew. That is Abel, who was slew by his brother Cain. And he makes his petition against him till his seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, and regarding all the hollow places, Why is one separated from the other? And he answered me, and said to me, These 3 men have been made the spirits of the dead. These three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated, and such a division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is the bright spring of water, and such has been made for sinners when they die and are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. Here their spirit shall be put aside in this great pain, till the great day of judgment and punishment, the torment of the accursed forever, and retribution for their spirits. There he shall bind them forever, and such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their petition, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners, who were complete in transgression, and of the transgressors they shall be companions, but their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall be raised from there. Then I Barak YHWH of esteem, and said, Barak be Adonai YHWH of righteousness, who rules forever. Chapter 23. From there I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth, and I saw a burning fire which ran without resting, and did not cease from its course day or night, but regularly. And I asked, saying, What is this which does not rest? Then Raguel, one of the Qodesh messengers who was with me, answered me and said to me, This course of fire which you have seen is the fire in the west, which pursues all the lights of the Shamayim. Chapter 24. And from there I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain range of fire which burnt day and night. And I went beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing each from the other. And the stones were magnificent and pleasant, magnificent as a whole, of magnificent appearance and fair exterior, 3 towards the east, 1 founded on the other, and 3 toward the south, 1 upon the other, and deep rough ravines, none of which joined with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of the throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. And amongst them was a tree such as I had never yet smelled, neither was any amongst them, nor were others like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and blooms and wood wither not forever. And its fruit is pleasant, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. And I said, how pleasant is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blossoms very delightful in appearance. Listen to what Michael says back. Then answered Michael, one of the Qodesh and honoured messengers, who was with me and was their leader. Chapter 25. And he said to me, Hanok, why do you ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree, and why do you want to learn the truth? Then I answered him, saying, I want to know about all matters, but especially about this tree. And he answered, saying, this high mountain which you have seen, whose summit is like the throne of Elohim, is his throne, where the Qodesh great one, YHWH of esteem, the eternal sovereign, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it, till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all, and bring its end forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and Qodesh. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the Qodesh place, to the high cow of YHWH, the eternal sovereign. Then they shall rejoice with joy and be glad, and into the Qodesh place they shall enter, and its fragrance shall be in their bones. Repeat. And its fragrance shall be in their bones. Wow. And they shall live a long life on earth, such as your fathers lived, and in their days shall no sorrow, plague, or torment, or calamity touch them. And I barak the Elohim of esteem, the eternal sovereign, who has prepared such matters for the righteous, and has created them, and promised to give them. Okay. Oh my goodness me, did you hear what he said? We just have to be righteous. We just have to believe in Yushua and look to the Father for everything. And that's what our bones will smell like. Wow. Continuing, chapter 26. And I went from there to the middle of the earth, and I saw a Baruch place in which there were trees and branches abiding and blooming. And there I saw a Qodesh mountain, and underneath the mountain to the east there was a stream, and it flowed toward the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain higher than this, and between them a deep and narrow ravine, wherein also ran a stream underneath the mountain. And to the west of there was another mountain, lower than the former, and of a small height, and a ravine deep and dry between them. And another deep and dry ravine was at the extremities of the three mountains. And all the ravines were deep and narrow, of hard rock, and trees were not planted upon them. And I marvelled at the rocks, and I marvelled at the ravine. Truly, I marvelled very much. Chapter 27. Then I said, for what object is this Baruch? Land, is this blessed land, which is entirely filled with trees, and this accursed valley between? Then Yaray, one of the Qodesh messengers who was with me, answered and said, this accursed valley is for those who are accursed forever. Here shall all the accursed be gathered together, who utter with their lips against YHWH indecent words, and of his esteem speak harshness. Here shall they be gathered together, and here shall be their place of judgment in the last days. There shall be upon them the spectacle of righteous judgment in the presence of the righteous forever. Here shall the compassionate Abba YHWH of esteem, the eternal sovereign, In the days of judgment over the former, they shall barak him for the compassion in accordance with which he has assigned them. Then I barak YHWH of esteem, and proclaim his esteem, and exalted him magnificently. Chapter 28. And then I went towards the east, into the midst of the mountain range of the desert, and I saw a wilderness, and I was solitary, and it was solitary, full of trees and plants, and water gushed forth from above, rushing like a plentiful watercourse towards the northwest. It caused clouds and dew to ascend on every side. Chapter 29. And when I went to another place in the desert, and approached to the east of this mountain range, and I there saw aromatic trees exhaling the fragrance of frankincense and myrrh, and the trees also were similar to the almond tree. Chapter 30. And beyond these I went far to the east, and I saw another place, a valley of water, and therein there was a tree, the colour of fragrant trees, such as the gum tree. And on the sides of those valleys I saw fragrant cinnamon, and beyond these I proceeded to the east. Chapter 31. And I saw other mountains, and amongst them were groves of trees, and there sweet liquid flowed forth from them, which is named Sarara and Galbanam. And beyond these mountains I saw another mountain to the east of the ends of the earth, whereon were aloe trees, and all the trees were full of incense, being like almond trees. And when one burnt it, it smelt sweeter than any fragrant odour. Wow, what a picture. Chapter 32. And after these fragrant odours, as I looked towards the north, over the mountains, I saw 7 mountains full of choice, nard, and fragrant trees, and cinnamon, and pepper. And then I went over the summit of all these mountains far towards the east of the earth, and passed over the eastern sea, and went far from it, and passed over the messenger Zotiel. And I came to the garden of righteousness, and saw beyond those trees many large trees growing there, and of pleasant fragrance, large, very pleasant and great, and the tree of wisdom, of which they ate, and know great wisdom. That tree is in height like the fir, and its leaves are like the carob tree, and its fruit is like the cluster of the vine, very lovely, and the fragrance of the tree penetrates afar. Then I said, how lovely is the tree, and how good to look at. Then Raphael, the Qodesh messenger, who was with me, answered me and said, this is the tree of wisdom, of which your elderly father and your aged mother, who were before you, have eaten. And they learned wisdom, and their eyes were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they were driven out of the garden. Okay, so I think I'd like to say, fathers, our father and mother of Adam and Eve, defiled themselves in the garden, tainted their blood. Chapter 33. We were born of them, and from there I went to the ends of the earth, of our father, and saw their great beasts, but we were born in the likeness differed of them from the other, and birds also differing in appearance and form and voice, the one differing from the other. And to the east of those beasts I saw the ends of the earth, whereon the Shamayim rests, and the portals of the Shamayim open. And I saw how the stars of the Shamayim come forth, and I counted the portals out of which they proceed, and wrote down all their outlets of each individual star by itself, according to their number and their names. their courses and their positions, and their times and their months. As Yaray, the Qodesh messenger, who was with me, showed me, he showed all matters to me, and wrote them down for me. Also their names he wrote for me, and their laws, and their beginnings. Wouldn't it be amazing if we dug them up in archaeological digs? Where are all these books now? They were blessed to live with those books, really. Chapter 34. And from there I went towards the north, to the ends of the earth, and there I saw a great and magnificent object at the ends of the whole earth. And here, Yahweh of hosts, I saw 3 portals of the Shamayim open in the Shamayim. Through each of them proceed north winds. When they blow, there is cold and hail, frost and snow, dew and rain. And out of one portal they blow for good. But when they blow through the other 2 portals, it is with violence and affliction on the earth. And they blow with violence. And from there I went towards, chapter 35, and from there I went towards the west to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 portals of the Shamayim open, such as I had seen in the east, the same number of portals and the same number of outlets. Chapter 36. And from there I went to the south, to the ends of the earth, and saw there 3 open portals of the Shamayim, and then there came dew, rain, and wind. And from there I went to the east, to the ends of the Shamayim, and saw where the 3 eastern portals of the Shamayim open, and small portals above them. Through each of these small portals pass the stars of the Shamayim, and run their course to the west of the path which is shown to them. And as often as I saw, I barach always YHWH of esteem, and I continued to barach YHWH of esteem, who has wrought great and magnificent wonders to show the greatness of his work to the messengers and to the spirits and to men, and they might praise his work and all his creation, that they might see the work of his might and praise the great work of his hand, and barak him forever. Amen. So I'm going to finish there. There's the parables is next. And that's a wonderful finishing. That's so explanatory and so deep. No wonder people painted magnificent pictures of it. Artists probably couldn't help themselves. Most beloved Abba YHWH Elohim, thank you for all your great and magnificent wonders. Your work is beyond awesome, beyond words. Many blessings to you, and thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon mankind. And many blessings to all who come here to hear and share the word. Make sure you praise the great work of his hand and his creation often. May the light of his truth be with you always. Much ahav and shalom, my precious mishpacha and haverim. Stay yoked on Yaray YHWH. May you all be baruch in every step you walk, and remember our Father and everything he does to show us himself. Yaray YHWH.